Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. And a bit of a discussion debate time, because after bringing up the video about Viper, I've seen quite a lot of comments coming up on the channel in relation to feedback that people wanted to give. It's not the only place I've seen it in other places too. And basically, because they were fixing characters and changing the function of Viper, people were talking about things that we need within the game, and one of the topics that came up quite a bit was rebalancing of characters, because some characters are essentially bad for the health of the game. Now, the character in question is this character here that people were talking about, okay? Now, I think it's unfair to solely talk about this character. There's more than one character to speak about. The other character, and I've spoke about it before, is this guy here, right? Both of them are quote-unquote unbalanced, but for different content, okay? I think if Flame Adon is the unbalanced unit in PvE, bossing content, then this guy is the PvP unbalanced unit, okay? Now, people can argue all they want. Anyone who can genuinely, hand on heart, say that VEGA isn't too powerful is kidding themselves on, okay? Now, people will do that though, because people do that currently for Adon. They say that, oh, it's not Adon that's the problem, it's Flame Chun-Li. Like, that's nonsense, and I'll tell you why that's nonsense. Because if you take Flame Chun-Li out of the Fadon team, okay, and you put her into a different team with another Flame unit, for example, Dalsim will see a bump in his numbers, okay? He will not go to the moon. The only character she does this with is Flame Adon. And the thing is, as was shown in one of the most recent bosses, I think it was Jury, pretty sure it was Jury, you can take Chun-Li out of this team, in fact you had to, and you can still score 3 to 4 times more with Fire Adon in your team than you will on any other team. So he is the problem, right? And when it comes to PvP, this guy is definitely the problem. I do not disagree with people saying that. What I do disagree with, however, is people asking for them to rebalance these characters, okay? Because what you're actually saying is you want these characters to be nerfed, right? And if the one thing I know from this guy is people who are asking for this guy to get nerfed, it is very much a have versus have not scenario, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Those who have VEGA will probably say, no, I don't want him to be nerfed. And I agree, I don't want him to be nerfed, right? Those who have not got VEGA and who struggle against teams because they do not have VEGA, they want him to be nerfed, okay? This is why pretty much universally people want to pretend that this guy isn't the problem. It's actually this unit that's the problem. And the reason for that is there is a group of people who have this unit and there's a group of people who don't have this unit. Whereas this unit here, everyone's got them. So people don't want to say that this guy is the problem because they don't want to lose their shiny toy. So instead, it makes more sense for them to say, no, it's not him, it's nothing to do with him, it's not his fault. He can only do that because of this character. And they're saying that because they're like, well, if this character gets nerfed, it doesn't affect me. But if this character gets nerfed, it does affect me, okay? So people who are out there asking for VEGA to be nerfed, I'm going to actually probably guess you've not got them built, you've not spent a lot of time, you've not spent money on tickets, you've not got cars, you've not got fighting spirit. So it's easy enough for you to ask for the unit to be nerfed. But putting all of that aside, the the reason I don't want them to nerf this character is simple. This unit here, Viper, they have shown us they do not know how to do it. They do not know how to handle changing a character significantly. Can you imagine what they would actually do if they did nerf this guy, or if they did nerf this guy? Let's not call it rebalance, let's call it nerf, because that's what it is, right? That is what it is. So people who are asking for this to happen, I honestly have to question, have you thought of the bigger picture? Have you actually considered what will happen if they do fundamentally change these characters? Because I pretty much know what will happen. They will change the characters and they'll expect it to just be accepted. They won't give a token that allows you all your investment back, your cars back, whatever, if you decide, well, hang on a minute, I wouldn't have built that character. They'll just change it and you'll be expected to accept it, because that is what we're expected to do with this character. They have taken this character, they have changed this character from doing unlimited super attacks because you could cleanse that character. Now, putting aside the fact that I do agree with some people that, technically speaking, on the grand scheme of things, that probably would not have been good to keep around, okay? Let's not lie about it. Having Viper doing unlimited super attacks was probably not a good idea, okay? But do you know what? That's not the people who bought the character's problem. That is the developer's problem. If they realise that, you know what, we screwed up, we shouldn't have done that, this character should function differently, it's bugged, you shouldn't be able to clear the... whatever, right? You shouldn't be able to clear the debuff. Well, let's call the debuff a buff. Okay. They just don't know how to handle it. They will just make us as players pay for their mistakes. In this case, quite literally, pay for their mistakes. If they'd done it with this character, they would be having players like me, others, paying for their mistake because you have probably spent money to get them built all the way up. If they'd done it to this character, not so much because he's a free-to-play unit, but then you are going to make all the free-to-play units, all the free-to-play players, sorry, think, you know what, I can't compete anymore. I can't compete anymore. I don't want to play this game. So I think, while it's an interesting idea, and character balance is important, there's other ways to do it. And the other ways to do it is they need to introduce characters that can go up against these units, okay? That's called power creep. That's what happens, right? Now, the only thing I hope they don't do, I think they need to introduce characters who can compete against this guy in bossing, characters who can combat this guy in PvP, okay? Now, there is some just now, but there's not many. And most of the ones that can are not free to play, really. I mean, apart from Honda. Base Honda, not Regal Honda. If they are going to start bringing out characters who can do it, I think for, let's just say, every 2 premium units, there needs to be 1 free to play. So that over time, there is multiple choices for both free to play and pay to play players to deal with a character like this. Because, again, let's not make any mistakes here. This guy is too powerful. I mean, if you can set your team up to go first, a Visconde Vega that is many, many, many levels below what he's attacking, if he's going first and you've got the right team where you can counter them potentially having one, even if you're massively under-leveled compared to who you're playing, you'll probably win. You'll probably win. And with this guy here, if you're running a team of units who are premium units, who should be the best units in the game, and you've got him in a different team, he's going to outscore that premium team. So they need to really think of ways to mitigate that without nerfing them. Because while I appreciate what people are saying, I just don't think people have thought of the ramifications of the fact that, quite frankly, they do not know how to do character rebalancing. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to handle the fallout from it. And to be honest, again, we can just go back to this situation. Look at how things are currently unfolding. They've once again changed this character. She's going to do something else that she didn't do. She might be great, we don't know. But she's still nothing like she was when she was initially released. And I've made multiple videos. I've made many posts. Other people have made many posts. And at the moment, it seems like it's being ignored. So, could you imagine what would happen here? Oh, I've got a review key. What's this? Search a light. No idea what that is. Could you imagine what would happen? All I can say is, it wouldn't go well. It would cause an absolute catastrophe within the player base. And honestly, in my opinion anyway, it's up to you guys, I can't tell you guys what to do. I would stop asking for them to do character rebalances. I would. Quite frankly, I would. Because they have shown me, anyway, as a player, they are not capable of pulling it off properly. So the last thing I want to see is Visconde Vega getting nerfed. Because if they did that, I just feel like they would screw it up royally and it would be a huge mistake. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I've been Hayzink, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.